What's up everyone, it's Caddy with Money Vesting. So in this video we are going to be talking about what the next week has in store for us because, well, guess what? Jerome Powell is going to be talking. He's got a speech scheduled at 11 a.m. Eastern on Friday. So I'm going to be talking about that, what that's going to be all about, and of course go over the earnings. It is going to be a pretty big retail week. So not only do we have a lot of retail companies reporting earnings, but we've also got retail sales coming out as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and find it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're just joining us for the first time, link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining us, and of course getting access to all the binds alerts, options alerts, trade ideas. Everything's going to be included as part of our money investing community, and of course you can access all the tutorials and the swing trading ideas as well. So link's going to be down below. One more thing that I want to mention is that for the month of May, we do have employment out of the way. We've got inflation out of the way. We've got the Fed meeting out of the way. So there's not really going to be a lot of things that actually move the market. So next week, like I said, there's only retail sales and the earnings that are going to be important, as well as Jerome Powell's speech, which is almost always important. So this right here is going to be the earnings calendar. Now, when it comes to Monday, not any companies that I'm particularly interested in, but Tuesday, we do have the Home Depot reporting their numbers. I actually did a video on Home Depot earlier, so make sure that you do check that out. We also got C Limited, we've got Baidu reporting, we've got PaySave reporting, Make My Trip is also reporting on that very same day, and that's going to be before the markets open. After the markets close, we do have Copart reporting their numbers, and that's probably the only company that I would maybe even glance at, and that's probably it. And on Wednesday, we do have a big retailer, Target. Now that's important because it really gives us insight into consumer spending, right? Target, TJX is reporting, Wix is also going to be reporting their numbers pre-bell, and then after the markets close, we've got Cisco, we've got Take-Two Interactive, which by the way, I did a video on them earlier today as well. We got Synopsys, and that is it. And then Thursday is also a pretty big week, a pretty big day, because we've got Alibaba before the bell. We got Walmart also reporting, the largest retailer in the US, perhaps even in the world in terms of revenue. And we got Lightspeed, and that's going to be it. And then finally, we got Applied Materials on Thursday after the bell. Farfetch, Ross Dress for Less is reporting. And then finally, we got John Deere and Foot Locker reporting a pre-market on Friday as well. This right here is going to be the retail sales numbers, which are going to be again coming out on Tuesday, May 16th. So this right here, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, is when retail sales numbers are coming out, and this is the expectation. 0.7% increase month over month, which would represent a very strong spending from the retail consumer in the US. 0.4% ex-vehicle, and ex-vehicle and gas 0.2%. Prior numbers, we did see retail sales decline, but right now the consensus is for us to see an increase on a month over month basis. Now next week, we do also have a lot of Fed members talking, starting with Raphael Bostic on Monday. We've also got Neil Kashkari and Thomas Barkin talking, all of them on Monday from 8:45 a.m. to 9:15 to 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Raphael Bostic's talking again at 8:55 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday. Loretta Mester an hour, about 40 minutes earlier. And we've got Lori Logan, John Williams, Raphael Bostic again on Tuesday. Wednesday, we don't have anyone. Then Thursday, we got Philip Jefferson, Lori Logan again. And of course, on Friday, we've got the big man talking. We got Jerome Powell speaking at 11 a.m. Eastern. Now, this right here is going to be with the former Fed chair, Ben Bernanke, and they're going to be talking at the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, Thomas Lubbock Research Conference in Washington, D.C. So I think this is going to be very much catered towards monetary policy, which is going to be about interest rates, inflation, unemployment, the GDP, all expectations, where we are in the process right now. So this is definitely going to be a market moving event, for the economy, and of course the markets, S&P 500 as well. So I'll see if I can be live during that time. 11 a.m. Eastern is definitely a lot earlier, so I'll definitely try to be live during that time to cover what Jay Powell is talking about during his speech, or during his discussion, a conversation with Ben on that day. So going over to the markets, going over to the S&P 500, so what you will notice is that we are still very much at a resistance, right? So we're still at a bear camp at the moment. So this right here has been referred to as the bear camp inside this red rectangle, because we've been consolidating sideways at 4,200, pretty big call wall at 4,200 for S&P 500. So we're not able to break past that level. And S&P 500 is, again, market cap weighted. The NASDAQ are a little bit more diversified. The NASDAQ, however, is obviously more concentrated on tech. So we're now starting to see a bit of a breakout past this bear camp. I also posted a video over the weekend talking about how just a handful of stocks, 5 to 7 companies, is not going to be enough for us to go back up to all-time highs, because the NASDAQ still needs to rally a little bit over 31%, and the S&P 500 still needs to rally a little bit over 17%, right? So just Apple and Microsoft and Nvidia are not going to be enough for the markets to go back up to all-time highs, even though those companies are already near all-time highs. For example, Apple here is almost at all-time highs right now. It's only off by what, 5%? Nvidia is also almost at an all-time high. It's only off by about 21%. Nvidia is also more volatile, and Microsoft is also very close to its all-time highs. It's only less than 13% away. But the fact that these companies have already moved up and they're almost at close to their all-time highs, and the S&P and the NASDAQ are not, just tells you that we need a broad-based rally. That these companies alone cannot carry the market to all-time highs. It's very, very important for us to see a broad-based rally, because if we don't, and if we start to see these companies start to lose some steam and they start to pull over and they roll right back down, then that's going to be troublesome for the market and for the S&P and the NASDAQ to also come down and get rejected at those resistance. So that's really where we are right now, and NASDAQ more specifically seeing a lot more momentum because of technology companies. But S&P 500 for the most part still inside this bear camp, still consolidating sideways. So we'll continue to monitor how this thing develops. And of course, another thing to pay attention to is the market breadth, which basically is just an understanding of how many stocks are up versus how many of them are down. So if you come over to some of these indicators, for example, this is going to be S&P 500 stocks that are trading above their 200-day moving average, and we are seeing that lower high from this, so it's nowhere near close to its high from February, and yet the market really is. S&P 500 is. So if you come over and take a look at the S&P 500 at the bottom, obviously you'll notice that we are very close to our February high. So this right here is going to be that resistance from the past, and yet the breadth is very, very weak. We're making lower highs, but instead for the S&P, we're making horizontal highs. Same thing is true for the NASDAQ. So if you come over and check this out, very, very, very weak breadth here. So coming in since February to now, they can see that we are much lower, and the NASDAQ here continues to actually trade higher. So this is where we are for the NASDAQ. We're going to be making a higher high here. We're already made a higher high, whereas the breadth behind the markets is really low. So this is something that we need to obviously pay attention to, because like I said, if the breadth is not going to be strong enough and it's not broad-based, the rally is eventually going to lose out of steam, and we're going to see the markets roll over. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Big week coming up for the markets. We got Jerome Powell, we got retail earnings and retail sales numbers coming out, and with a pretty strong resistance with the weaker breadth, it's going to be an important technical week for the markets as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and find it helpful. If you did, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us for the first time. The link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below. As always, happy investing, and I'll see you all in the next video.